Yeah, fun times.
Yo, and depending on other people, and it'd be like, yo, I'd be asking you for the simplest shit. Like, I need a 10-second voiceover real quick just so I could throw you in and get your name out. I got you, bro. I got you. And then a week
3 days later.
Yeah!
And I know that because that's also me. That's also me. In fact, you just reminded me. I got one I owe to Jesse Gender that I need to go ahead and queue up so it's in my face when I'm ready to start it. Oh shit! How much am I reading for you, Jesse?
And then you look at it, it's like, oh shit! I thought this was
right.
2 sentences.
It's 14 pages. No, this all can't be me.
Yeah.
This all can't be me. Let me see. Okay. All right, there we go. Oh, okay. It's only like 3 paragraphs. All right, cool. We're good. Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I'm just setting everything up. Just making sure it all look good. Okay, so in there and then there, we'll keep it simple for today. And then I'll place these icons here. Nice. Now I just need our background, which is that thing that you liked a long time ago. I didn't use that image.
Where do I go? Where's it streaming to? Is this going to Twitch? Or?
Straight to Twitch, yeah.
Okay. So let me see if I can find you on Twitch. Because I can't even I can't tweet it out because I don't have access to my Twitter anymore.
Oh, what happened?
I just stopped. I just decided to stop. It's especially after Coongate.
Yeah, we're gonna talk.
After Coongate, there's just so much heat on Twitter that, like, and it's hard to explain. But the short version is Twitter is just not fun for me. I don't enjoy it anymore. It's too much work and stress and nonsense. And so I just now have severely limited my access to it. Hold on.
Should have just put you in a chamber, but I think we'll be fine like this.
Hold on. I'm just putting this out on my community page.
Are you good?
It's too much nonsense, and so I gave my Twitter. I reset all my Twitter information and made it so only my wife has access to it. So I have to ask her to tweet.
Not even to be funny, but like that's dead ass the smartest way to do it. And involve somebody else, especially somebody who I can healthily assume is not fucking online. It's like, why are you bothering me at 12 o'clock in the morning?
Right. So I can't be tweeting at niggas at I can't wake up in the morning and check Twitter and start motherfuckers talking shit. I can't do that no more.
And you know what it is too? What the shit that gets me is that, and that's the primary reason why I think a lot of people have wanted us to talk for a long time, because everybody sees me, and I shouldn't say everybody, but when we first met, a lot of people saw me as the younger you. Like, I'm very one of those people who are very grounded, very like I touch grass a lot. Like my opinion on politics is based on what I've seen in the hood when I've gone to these circles, the weddings with the $300,000 appraisals and shit, and the way that I get treated, and then like it all lays back into a lot of y'all don't know what y'all be talking about on the internet, and it's like. And it's like,
so frustrating.
Go ahead, talk. Yeah, because I'm about to go off.
It's so frustrating because the internet is its own world. Twitter especially is its own world. And it was a world I had no interest in being a part of before I recognized it as an important aspect of my job, of the work I'm doing, right? Of being a content creator, being an influencer. And so I got on Twitter and I just Twittered. And I was like, because to be clear, I wouldn't have a problem with Twitter if I wasn't a problem with like being heavily opinionated, being argumentative, a little bit of an ego, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like Facebook activity like that is fine because it's a closed circle. It's me arguing with the same 5-10 niggas and a handful of women with every hot take post. You know what I'm saying? So excuse me, there's a relationship, there's a familiarity, and there's a lot of good faith. You know what I'm saying? Because I know based on these 10 other times I've had this discussion in this space with these same people, where y'all are coming from, when y'all are full of shit, when y'all are saying something real, when you're, you know, like whatever. And so like I've historically, like the reason why I'm able to write these essays is to an extent is because I've been having barbershop battles on Twitter since
there it is. He said the
mid
That's all I
2000s.
was looking for.
Right?
Right in. Let's jump right into it. Yes.
Yeah.
The barbershop conversation is how we're gonna like slice this down, because the one thing I had said to you when I first met you was, do you feel like you're ever properly represented, like your words are being properly represented while you're speaking on Twitter? Because for us as black men, these video essay things, you know, live streaming, being entertaining, I feel like for us that comes natural because we're used to being in group surroundings where if some nigga roasting you, you got to be on your toes. And that puts you in a space to be able to improvise. Like, we don't think about these as being learning skills that grow into like job skills or like life skills or whatever, but they
survival skills.
Right. Exactly. Hey, okay, let's go ahead. I forgot. My bad. I wasn't really familiar with your game. My bad.
No, like, but the problem there is not the problem. The challenge when you cross over, right, is you have to manage reflexes, you know what I'm saying, and energy and vibes that are second nature to you that other people don't understand. They don't have the cultural or social context. And I'm talking about other black folks too, because I have 3.5 sets of enemies in my social media, YouTube content, atmosphere right now. Number one probably is the like, the white leftist debate bro, moderate space, right? Because and that's white and black. And then second to them is like the black conservatives, especially since I've been at their neck for the last couple of months. Really since I started, but the last couple of months is when I really went like.
Let's be honest. Since we were born, let's
since
really,
we were born,
right? Let's really,
and then it's like manosphere niggas, a handful of divestors, and thankfully the real white supremacists haven't even discovered me yet. So I'm trying to keep it that way. Like the hardcore anti-SJW type alt-right type dudes, they haven't bothered to. They haven't engaged, which is probably a blessing in disguise.
And that actually brings me to and I'm going to tell you this like real. I'm 29. I realize that I don't have like hours upon hours of your time. So I think in my head, and I was going to start this whole thing out with this, it's like I recognize that every single word I say to you has overt tones, and I'm just saying this straight to you, man to man, of like, hey, bigger creator, given the look, is he gonna plug his channel? Da-da-da. So I want to really hone in on the idea, just between you and I, that this conversation is from the heart. And I feel like a lot, I know that for black people it's easy to figure that out, but like we're not on a black website, we're not on a black internet. So like I need to make that clear to you, just in the sense that not like anything happened or anything's going on, but like the fact that it's unprompted and being brought up, anything I say is the time that I get. You know what I mean? So I just want to, thank you for your time. I respect that. And I'm not here to, I know but like still you gotta say it because it's just right. I just feel I'm trying to do
you
different.
Never know. Like it's so many times where I've said I'll come through to do X, Y, and Z, and a couple times I get there, I'll be like, ooh, what did I get myself into? Dude?
Oh no, he said it. No, we're jumping into it first. Main topic. Fuck it, he did it. Yo, okay, here's my lesson in life. I told you this before. I'm gonna tell you again, and this is what I'm gonna talk to you about. What do you mean by that? It's a question that I've been asking so many of these people. I need you to tell me from your experience sitting where you sit, why is it that there are these groups of people who like the redheaded libertarian, just pearly things? Why are these people growing saying just bullshit? You got to tell me.
So I think, all right, you gotta let me cook for a second.
Yeah, no. I got time, baby. I told you today's the last day I get this house alone. I got time. I got time.
So it starts with capitalism, right? And then the new media, the era of new media, when we first get YouTube and Facebook and MySpace, etc. Like this is new thing that everybody kind of discovering at once. And everybody's like, yo, this is dope. This is new, but it's free. How are we making money? Right? How are we going to make money off this? Zuckerberg got billions of dollars up front on some shit he wasn't even like monetizing yet, because they was just like, look, I don't know how you're going to do it, but you got 1 billion people to sign up to your website. There's some money in there somewhere, right? At some point in time, they realized the money is in data. It's in understanding and analyzing and grouping and marketing people. And so that becomes the big, like there's a saying, one of my, I got a lot of white homeboys off YouTube now. And one of the sayings I got from one of them, maybe I got this from, I don't know where I got this from, but it's basically like, if the product is free, you are the product.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure, yeah. So people have heard that, right? So from that, the concept of algorithms are developed. Like before, I feel like before 2010, I don't know when YouTube started doing their shit via algorithm.
2009. I can tell you
2009.
June 11th, 2009. The only reason, okay, so now we're going to go into my history. I was one of the first YouTube partners. I didn't think it was worth money at the time. I've been doing this a long time, but like when my shit was popping, I didn't view it as like necessary to follow. Nobody said the same question you just asked, and that's why I feel so validated sometimes, because sometimes you be saying shit out loud and niggas be like, that wasn't real, you didn't do that, and it's like, now you're gonna see the connection. Right when they made the switch to the algorithm is when they also decided to open up the partner program. And back then, high school, I think I was maybe a freshman or a sophomore. None of us thought about the money aspect of it. There was no money to be made in views.
Yeah,
it was popularity purely.
Popularity. Yeah. Right. But like TikTok is now.
Right.
So once everything shifts over to an algorithm, it's not just YouTube, it's Facebook. Facebook creates the infinite scroll. It's Twitter. All these social media platforms switch over to algorithmic engagement optimization, meaning like we're going to use computer learning systems to learn what gets you moving, gets you going, and what keeps you here on the platform. And long story short, to bring it back to why pearly things and all these insole adjacent, like insoles are the most valuable commodity on the internet, on social media, because they are incredibly rage and spite driven, and they induce rage in normal people. So if you can somehow get a piece of the incel pie and puzzle, you will always be able to make money on these and keep engagement on these platforms, whether you're pandering to incels like a just pearly things, or whether you're spending all your time shitting on incels like half of BreadTube, right?
Hi, I'm here.
Right. Like I got 3 Manosphere videos.
Right, exactly. We do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, please believe when
right there. So from one creator to another, I know you've noticed that there's been I'm sorry if this sounds like an interview, but this I'll do it.
It's all good. It's all good.
You're right. You wouldn't be here if you wasn't flowing. So let me get out of my
I get
own
to
head.
press the button. Like I always tell people, like, look, I'm not in your crib. So like, we gonna talk. We're doing good.
Oh no, he said it. God, all I am is references. Get out of my head memes. But it's just so funny because it's just like I always said to people, why are you on a 3-hour like panel show? Like I ran a panel show, super smooth, ended in about an hour. And like, why are you on a 3-hour panel show where the question of like, is incest normal comes up, and you're not just like, bro, I don't have to stay here. I don't know none of y'all. Y'all not coming to my house, like, and you're gonna make 3 hours of content on me leaving anyway. So I win.
Because that's low effort, low brow content that is rage inducing and inviolable on, and no shade to streamers overall, right? But let's keep it a buck. You can easily convene, like, the reason why there's always beef in like the streaming like world is because if you start beef, you got content. If you got content, you got money. And you know what I'm saying? And so, like, yeah, like after if you have no creative essence in you, then at some point in time, after you have enough debates on real shit, affirmative action just dropped. Even though I ain't really got the energy to debate affirmative action, it's like, we know, right? Like, so that dropped. You might get a good week out of that. But if don't nothing happen for the next couple of weeks, you're gonna end up debating incest or some other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? And you either have the fucking what's the word I want to use? You either have the like moral character or like willpower or just pride to say, I'm not about to debate incest with y'all motherfuckers, and we just not gonna have a stream today. Or you get 4 other weird motherfuckers on stream with you to debate incest. And you know, if you're lucky, you go viral for say something stupid, but then you're always gonna be the dumb motherfucker that says something weird about incest at one time. And then that becomes
bingo right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Legacy. I had a video that I was supposed to put out that was my message to you. It was right after your it was right after, I believe it was hold on.
Flying the milk joint? It was before that. No,
it was before that, way before that. It was in the middle of the kind of Hogwarts Legacy Hassan thing that was going on. But you made a video that was I'm going to tell you the name of it because I
left this infighting almost killed me.
Was it that one?
That came out literally the day of Hassan's bad Hogwarts take. It came out like the day of or the day before. Okay. And I was planning on going on Hassan's stream then, and he had fucked up. I was like, look, I'm not about to jump on your stream when it's hot and when you hot right now. I'm gonna let you cook. And I actually made a video about it, and I didn't even put it out because I didn't want to.
I believe that the video I am referring to, sorry to cut you off, is understanding the Black Manosphere.
Oh yeah, that was a little bit, that was way before.
Yes, way
that
before.
might have been when you saw it. But
yes,
that was way before
I said, right. You're right. Thank you for even putting that in my head. Yes, that was when I saw it. I have been being told by my partner that for the longest time, this dude FD Signifier makes videos, like, and we need to really like put more Black content creators, because we noticed this, like, I think a year after we met, like, there's always white boys on my channel. What's up with that? And I remember watching it, and I made you a 7-minute video that pretty much just said, I don't know what it was, but it really felt like a nigga was talking to me the way I want to talk to niggas. And I was like, I made a case about representation, and I'm like, do you see how quick it is for like somebody like me to, like, that's how I got my start here, is that I saw Vosh, I saw Dylan Burns, I saw the panels, and I was like, this shit is goofy. I could do that. Like, I really sat here on this screen up right here and said, this shit is goofy. I could do that. And then I was on the panel, and then everybody's saying to me, you like, damn, how long you been doing this? Got the quality and everything. But what breaks me is like that I feel like I'm supposed to be more than what I am at every time. Like, I carefully constrict my content to a theme. So I'm not even going to begin to explain how deep this goes, but I have 3 stories and 2 ARGs running through this live stream. I attempt to weave so many stories together inside of seasons and themes because I want to show people that, like, you can cultivate your content to be what you want it to be. And that's why I love, or I'm getting back into the love of pro wrestling. The stories that you could tell, like, nobody, I love this phrase so much, nobody make you do anything on the internet. Let's get that real clear. Nobody has ever forced your hand on anything because it's as easy as, oh, I didn't see that. Damn, that sucks. Like, you don't have to have these conversations. It's your playground. You could do whatever you want. You could put together a short film about how like you vaped this morning and you started coughing for the whole day. Like make a fake Superman model in with gifts and do like anything but the weirdness of it. And what scares me is that I know you've noticed too, there are a couple of leftists, big leftists, that are also starting to appeal to that incel rage click, everybody's talking about me line. Do you have any ideas why that's happening? If it's so obvious and clear that like,
well, it's because incels are low hanging fruit. Incels have no. I'm actually working on my own. Like I was just literally ideating about a video engaging with this like realization in like the aftermath of Pearly Things. Is a little debate with
H3.
What's the white dude's name?
Ethan?
H3, right?
Yeah.
And so like I've heard mixed things about H3, but like he cooked her pretty easily, right? And she's been cooked multiple times. Like people are like, is this the end of Pearly Things? And I'm like, no, because the incels do not care. They are the lowest. I hate this because I actually did a lot of like studying around incels and trying to like empathize and like think about like what's going on and like transitioning it into like a mental health crisis, yada yada yada. But you can only do that so long before you like, y'all niggas is weird and dumb and I hate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what ends up happening after a while. You can't be in the presence of that energy. But that's the reality. No, they're so down bad in whatever whatever social issues that they are encountering. They're so down bad that they don't care the reality of what's of like the exchange here. As long as there's someone that is placating their rage and desires online, they will support that person. They will give that person attention and clout, and that person can grift off of their down badness. So I could like make a incel video tomorrow and switch up the whole game, and everything I said before they'll forgive because now I'm one of them. And so the same thing. And so if you are, consider yourself a leftist or on the left or progressive or whatever median space you're in, and the bag is looking a little dry, the well is looking a little dry, you can switch it up and become an incel, an incel creator or a creator that panders to that audience, even if you're pandering for the sake of rehabilitation, right? To be fair. Even if you're doing that, they're still gonna hold you down because they are the most desperate like audience population on the internet. They have no standards. So that's why. That's my theory, at least.
That's a good. I like that. I've always been taught that, or I've learned through experience that being facetious towards a group of people, I feel like you either do it out of ignorance or you do it like knowing full well. I believe that a lot of leftists, and this is me getting personal now, I believe that a lot of leftists realize that we don't have figureheads that move beyond where we're at. Like, Tim Pool could end up on Fox News. Hassan will end up on, like, Alex Jones. We don't have a connection to keep getting our message out beyond ourselves. There's a creator by the name of Furious Fade. He makes, like, GTA RP videos and stuff. Never really touched he's not a politics person. I know him in real life. 1.13 million subscribers. And I asked him, like, yo, have you ever ran into any issues with, like, anything about, current events or whatever? And he's like, people have come up to me in my videos to try to catch me on, like, having a bad opinion or whatever. And I'm just like, why would you bring that energy around me? Why would you even bring up, like, the thought? And that's what I'm trying to shift around in the internet, because I feel like a lot of people recognize there is nothing greater than our message. We're debating the same things. We're rerunning the same things. And it's not their fault. It's that they got big enough that there's really they've had their basic needs met. So
there's no consequences.
Right. Yeah, there it is. There's no consequences. I'm in the sphere now. I'm playing the game. But like for other people, we're wondering, why do you believe it is a game in the first place? And that leads us to, so like, I know you've talked before with because I remember you being on Hassan. You talked before about like having to prove yourself, having to prove the knowledge like that comes out of your mouth. You know, I have these credentials, I've done this, I've done that. We always as Black people got to give our story first. A lot of these content
got to validate the fact that we deserve to be here.
Right. Like a lot of these other creators just open their mouths. And when you just open your mouth, if you respond to it, it becomes what you are going to say. It slips out. Like, I remember there was a period where I was making a joke with one person, my partner, in this house, and like we would see crazy ass tweets from Mr. D, and we'd be like, yo, bro, just call us N-words. But we'd say the word because it's the joke. And I was like, you know, if we keep doing this, eventually it's going to come out unironic out of our mouths at one point. and it's like, in theory, it's not a problem. It just depends on when it happens. And it's like, damn, now it's going to happen. With these people, they don't get that refrain. Like, Anna's going on a heel turn right now because it's like, I can tell, yo, there's no real people going to you and pulling you back.
I was just wondering, like, yo, has anybody actually talked to her?
There it is, right there.
Who are her people? Because I've actually been on Sitch and Adam a couple times. But I'm the same nigga like here as I am there.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm not going on there to be like why I left the left or whatever. Like, I went on there the first time to talk about how bullshit their Black conservative take was. And then like another time, I don't know. All I know is I don't feel bad about anything I've said there.
Right.
We have a cordial conversation, but like I don't placate. Like how I don't know what her goal was there, and like and that's coming back. Who are her people? Has anybody had like I know people have clowned her on Twitter for like the past month, and it's so funny. Four men. We did a like a panel, impromptu panel on his stream, joking about her future I left the left moment. And then it happened like a month later. And so it's like, I'm like, damn, did we just joke? Did somebody actually talk to her? Or did she just close her ears to the criticism the whole time and is just continuing to dig deeper into, she said some shit. She said, I'm scared of being seen as racist because people think all white people are racist and that they're bad people or something. I'm like, damn, so you don't have like basic critical race theory.
Right, no, not even that. I could tell you the quote straight up. She said, I don't want to have conversations. It's very hard to have certain conversations with people who are non-white because the default emotion that's being put out there is that being white means I'm inherently racist. Of course, I'm not going to be able to have a decent conversation with you.
Yeah, and I'm like, so what you're telling me, and this goes back to what you were just saying. That means she built a whole progressive platform without basic race theory education, and that's wild. She became a pillar of for white women in this space on the left, in this like community as a thought leader, and she lacks basic race theory 101 education for that to come out her mouth.
Even doubly so. So my thing is,
and Google is free.
Oh shit, son. Okay, you about to start me off. Here we go. So I have this big thing, right? I have this big fucking thing where like I come into conversations with an understanding that there are some topics that you already know about. She just said as of like a couple, so you know, like I'm not gonna sit here and explain to you black exclusion in poor neighborhoods where if you're a kid who likes something outside of basketball, the norm, whatever's popular, what's popping in hood culture, you are literally ostracized from your own people because we do that as kids. That's just what we do. Like that's fine. I found my friends. I was still cool with them because they knew I wasn't gonna say shit. If I had to slide, blah blah blah. But I'm not about that. Leave him alone until it's time. But also, he's not a fuckhead. Don't touch him. I'm cool with that. I could take that. From all of that, I understand when I enter into a conversation I need to get down past your surface level analysis of certain things, because there's no point in us, like, you don't know that by now. No, you
Right.
never, you don't.
We can't even have a full conversation.
Right, because I got to, thank you. And this is my biggest problem when I started making content, is that I would sit there and I would explain the background just to make you feel like, okay, you know, me and you, now we have an understanding of where I'm coming from. I'm not saying you gotta Tim Pool me and watch all my shit, but like, you know, for a damn fact, like, okay, I definitely know that the failure of Reconstruction led to a lot of the issues that we see today in minority communities. If you don't have that understanding, you're going to send me down a rabbit hole of, why are we having it? What do you mean by that? And that's my problem with, you see that phrase go, I need to put that on a t-shirt.
What do you mean by that?
Like, for Anna, it brings me back to like something one of my friends posted on Facebook. Oh, I didn't know this meme was transphobic. I was just sharing it because the sentiment is right. It's like, some people, if they come at you a certain way, you gotta see that like the criticism has to have some level of validity, because nobody's coming at me for anything I'm saying. Most people will say, oh, that means not enough people are watching. But it's like, okay, you watch it then and tell me what's wrong, if we're gonna get there. For Anna, it's like you have the chance to script things. You got a team behind you. Your basic needs are met.
Team.
Like nobody in your ear, like, bitch. Like, nobody in your ear grabbing your shit.
Nobody yanked you up by your arm like
right.
a parent.
Like, it's time for you to log on. Get up. Like, people invest in time, energy, resources. And while I'm not making this a point to make it a point, it is something that I share with my audience. I'm not in the greatest of positions in life. So when I look at that, it's like, do you not have a me in your corner? Is that your circle? It makes me start asking more and more questions about your development. And that's what the leaving the left and this whole genre of like transgressions are leading to, is that you are telling us, or the larger scale conversation is telling us, none of these people have these friends in their circle. None of these people have friends, I'm almost assuming. Like,
it calls into question. This is why I'm off Twitter. And it's, I think, the number one reason why I have so much conflict with certain portions of the online left, or why certain people within the online left, and this is beyond just debate bros, but like, so much of the online left is either spiteful towards me, afraid of me, or in question of me. And it's because my existence in the wave that I am a part of represents a explicit criticism and failure of the online left, in that they have propped up so many clearly incompetent, clearly unlearned, and not very knowledgeable figures who have cornered this market of, you know, whatever, and have never been questioned and have never been challenged on the gaps in their knowledge, and not even just gaps in their knowledge, because there's so much I don't know. Like, don't ask me shit about global politics. I don't know shit about that shit. Right?
Oh, he said it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We gotta give you an award. That's the battle rap thumbs up. That's my phrase. I swear to God, my chat will tell you right now. I made that the rule on the first stream, November 4th, Election Day 2020. For the last 2.5 years, I've done 4 seasons and 72 episodes plus off seasons. And in all of them, I don't talk about shit I don't know about. That's the rule. Like,
right. Don't ask me about what's happening. I will connect with someone that will, and bring him on my stream to educate you and me on whatever this thing is. There will be no FD takes, right? But that's not how they move. They want and feel entitled to having a take on everything, even when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But the only credential, the only bona fides in this space is clout. So if you have enough clout and a big enough audience, your words, your takes become more valid, even if they're woefully misinformed. So you can have an Anna Kasparian who clearly doesn't know much about trans issues and clearly doesn't know much about race theory be a pillar, a held up in this space with minimal understanding of those like core elements of these issues. And that's why, like, the thing I realized about my conflict with, you know, certain audiences and certain figures was really just their audiences. Like the figures, to give, you know, the redheaded libertarian credit, he has never really bothered much with me. But what I realize is happening is his audience is insecure. Expect his black audience members to a lesser extent, but greatly his white audience members, and a lot of them are very insecure about my existence and the existence of these other creators, because we don't sound like him, but we still sound like we know what the fuck we talking about. And so, like, I always talk about, the first thing that started happening to me as I started coming up was I had so many people saying, yo, you should go speak to the redheaded libertarian. Go speak to the redheaded libertarian. Y'all would have a great conversation. And I went and looked at the redheaded libertarian. I was like, I don't want to talk to this motherfucker. This is not a space I really feel like going into. And so then when that happens, they then have to figure out a way to invalidate you and you know, bring you down below their favorite person's status. And so to do that, they have to make up a lot of bullshit. They have to create, you know, all this other nonsense, because this space is more about this whole space is much more about collective identity, people who identify as leftists, than actual leftist action, activity, and ideology. It's I am one of the good ones type energy. It's, you know, it's arguing with my, you know, and I empathize with that, because I always bring it back to, you know, it's so funny because I'm clearly, according to a lot of them, the anti-white racist. But more than most figures, most black folks with my background and with like my energy, I empathize with what it feels like to be white in America and be apart from like cultural, social cultural like identity in exchange for existing in a white, you know, whiteness, and that you lose like connection to so many different things that you got to be white first. And feeling like that don't make sense, and having an asshole conservative uncle who has power over you that you have to, you know, debate and argue with on a regular basis. You can't go to a family function. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get why that there's an angst there, but co-opting an entire political ideology in the name of having a community that you belong to that affirms your angst, I'm not feeling that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling the way that I'm not feeling the gradual encroachment of very liberal and to you know, conservative energy. I understand why it's important for them to convert their neo-Nazi alt-right cousins and friends from high school to come into better politics, but that is not like, that is a small thing. That is a small, not all that valuable, and in the grand scheme, insignificant to like these movements things, that your cousin is less shitty than he was when he was a sophomore in high school, you know. But you know, that's really big to them, right? And well, you know, let me take that back. It's not that it's a small thing. Mm-hmm. It's that it does not have the gravity and necessity to excuse the tactics and the energy and the transgressions that a lot of those communities foster in the name of converting the alt-right and neo-Nazis. Like the level of frontlining that goal in the face of everything else that goes wrong in that mission, I can't fuck with, which is why I'm like, y'all do that over there. Don't ask me to come over there. Don't ask me to take your opinions and needs all that seriously. That's not what I do. And the other thing from that is white people don't center themselves challenge difficulty impossible. You know what I'm saying? Is the other thing. You know, we had this whole conversation when we first met. I hate the way that overall went down, because it's the going back to that video. The video's about all these white leftists. It spends 2 minutes talking about the one, black creator in that circle, and that becomes the whole of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so we gonna just like this one time y'all don't want to center yourselves. It's really like this.
Yeah,
it's really because
yeah,
y'all.
Yeah.
I see what y'all did there. That's slick. That's slick. And I hate to say it, a lot of niggas fell for it. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't let niggas see red than seeing some tommery happening in their face. It'll make you lose concentration. I get it.
And the focus, and speaking of that, that's one of the biggest things that I have seen you go through. And that's why, like, I've been pushing so hard to say, sometimes people are just real with you, that we see through a lot of that very fast. So if you're going to put us in a room with these people, if you're going to ask me to dissect this issue, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go to conclusions. I'm not here to like fucking.
I'm not here for your method section.
Right, like I'm done with the I'm problem solving, because ain't no way you're going to sit here and have me say, I experienced, and I think I brought this example up to you before, but like I experienced growing up, my Uno cards were always very fluffy, very like water damaged, and like the deck was like supersized and the cards would like be bent and everything. That was my Uno. When I found out that a deck of cards was only like $5 for 2 packs, I used to wonder why the fuck we always had missing cards when we was in the centers. Like, I always asked these questions as I started growing up. Oh shit, I could do this, I could do that. So when I became a teacher, then I became a summer counselor, I would always try to provide that for the kids. If something happened, if something got damaged, I'm buying a new one. I spend my money on them. I don't give a fuck. Because in my head, I know what that feels like. I can't explain to them that, because that makes no sense for them to have to feel that. So I'm done with the method section. I know how to get there. Now I need you to tell me, Mr. White Person, why the hell is it that these places are so low on resources that a camp counselor can't say, I need $5 from this nonprofit to go get these kids better Uno cards. I need them to take a trip to Washington, D.C. to see their capital. They're never going to get this chance. It's all paid on us. Where's social gatekeeping? And then you're worried about us telling you there's a thing as black culture and you're not invited. Because once we end up on the conversations, you feel me? Like, we're gonna get into a whole bunch of shit about resources, and it's gonna end up with, I'm sorry, but I gotta rob you. I gotta steal you. Like, I gotta steal
take your
you.
shit.
Right? Like, we're done. I'm done. Like, I always feel that as I present more and more closer to, hey, I'm not telling you got to go live the revolution through my eyes. I'm not telling you got to listen to me. I'm always right, this and that. But if I open my mouth, I probably know what I'm talking about. And I'm probably only addressing what you're saying because for some reason, you've deluded hundreds of thousands of people into hanging on to your word. And for the last time, I'm going to say it. My stream watched it, and I'm going to tell you, I've had people come on this stream in person, my friends. This shit just happened. I'm not sure if you're aware of a content creator by the name of Josie Caballero.
No.
Trans person, trans woman, director of projects, and chairman.
Was she on she I think she fucks with This Is Revolution.
Yes.
A little bit. Okay, I know you.
Yeah. Okay. I was just spending time with her a couple days ago. I think about a week ago. Matter of fact, it was a week ago. And we were going to a gala for the LGBTQ wing of the DNC. Kamala Harris was there, big names was there, blah, blah, blah. As we're going there, I get a hit up from one of my friends, longtime friend, my high school sweetheart. We was friends. We never did anything. I was so scared of ever pushing our relationship forward that I waited till the last day of high school to kiss her, just to see what it was like. We've kept in contact. That friendship was always developed. She got married, had to hide it from everybody. I was like, you could have told me, but like, whatever. Hits me up and effectively says, the reason why transgenderism is a problem is because their lifestyle puts them away from eternal damnation. And I'm like, yo, we grew up on Avenged Sevenfold. You were an alt kid. Like, don't do that. Don't fucking do that to me. Don't, like, we was in a school band together. You sung Flyleaf. Like, I know that's a Christian band, but like, we was, like, your best friend was clearly queer. She was trying to date you. She made that obvious. Like, and you was down with it for a period of time. Like, what happened? What? Like, I remember you had a girlfriend at one point. What happened? I don't want to get into, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your marriage, but she hits me up, and I brought up Matt Walsh in this conversation because she was responding to one of my videos through Messenger. And she was like, I don't listen to Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles because they're right. It's just, they're Catholic, which is one thing. But as Christians, we agree that transgenderism is ruining it. And I'm like, but you know that, like, Matt Walsh is a theocratic fascist, right? Like, and she's like, false. And I'm like, that's crazy because that's what he calls himself. You see, you haven't come to me with these type of questions before ever, this type of conversation. Why would you think to start there and then not even have that basic knowledge? So to lead it all back, it's like I'm faced with that every day in real life as well as the internet. For these people to continuously be able to agitate a space, that means that the bigger creators out there aren't agitating back. And that is why I asked you, do you feel validated by your words while you be going back and forth on Twitter? Because in theory, you are one of the bigger creators that agitate the space. People make content about your takes. I think that's the failure of leftists. We don't have an engine. We react to right-wingers, which forces right-wingers into more people's ears. Oh, just debate them, bro. The ideas will kill themselves. How many times are you bringing up original points? And there's not a lot of us who are bringing up original points. And for the sake of it, I'm doing this we cloud sharking a little. For the sake of it, you and me are one of the last group of people that be bringing up original fucking points. All right.
Yeah, it's so no. To be fair, I got to shout out all my video essays, folks. My original theory was, and I pulled back on it because it came off elitist, and it still is. But like the longer I've been here, the longer I've observed the space, the more I realize that's just kind of what it is. There's different versions of, people, different video essays, commentary, whatever, and then streaming. Everybody's doing different things slightly, but the reality is the deeper dives and like the creatives are generally speaking making video essays. Right, the folks that's like, I read this book, I have this idea, I have this analysis, I want to make a video about it. It takes a month and a half, or it takes 2.5 weeks, whatever. But like, it's still mostly original. Like my boy, John Lewis, I just watched his video yesterday. And he got into, his video was about basically the like black grifter, the online black financial grifter game. And, he could have just did a normal video essay where he just, here are these online black grifter, and how bad they are, which would have been fine. I would have been very entertained, would have got the point across, etc. Instead, he interviewed a bunch of experts as if he was trying to start up a grift himself. So he's asking people, like, how can I get big on Bitcoin? He's asking like outright anti-capitalists, people, how do I get big on Bitcoin? They're looking at him like, you can't get big on Bitcoin. That's stupid. And so like it creates, it's a different way to drive the conversation that you can only do when you're actually taking time to create something. And then you have the commentary in the streamer community who commentate and react to the bigger things going on. And sometimes it's the actual news, and sometimes it's somebody else's video essay or commentary. And that would be dope. I always want to be clear. I don't take issue with streaming or commentary, whatever, as a type of media to consume. I watch stream clips. I watch commentary channels. Like, those are good because they can talk about the thing 12 hours after it happens. I can't do that. I just saw something this morning. It's like, oh shit, I need to rewrite this whole section of a video that is coming out like Monday. Like I got to figure out how to stuff it in so I don't miss this point. So we have an engine. I would argue we don't have like the big engines. We don't have an equivalent to Fox News or Turning Point or PragerU. Like we don't have any super rich leftists, which kind of makes sense. We don't have any super rich socialists saying we're going to buy up some media companies and put a bunch of leftist propaganda on it. So that's a problem that we have to like consider. But I don't agree with that we don't have engines. The problem is we are still beholden to clout and content thirst. And so instead of it's much harder. Like I could like, you know, I bring up Dr. Jared Ball a lot in my content. And like his channel, the Black Power Media channel. And all that channel is, and I could also include, you know, This is Revolution podcast, is another Black leftist podcast channel. And there's probably some other ones I don't even, you know about out there. And I don't know about them because all they're doing is hardcore engine running shit, hardcore ideating, thinking, talking, and engaging with these big ideas in ways that I couldn't do if I wanted to still have a platform, if I want to still make money off this platform. Now I could disregard and never worry about, I could get a normal job again and only make hardcore Black leftist stuff from here on out. But my audience would shrink. I wouldn't be able to afford, like, you know, I wouldn't be able to do this professionally. And this is the only thing I do. And I don't know if I would be as effective or literally as happy. The engine just doesn't run over here is, I guess, what I'm trying to get at. The only, and this goes, so, and I'll tie this way back to the first thing I was talking about algorithm.
I love that you do that because I do that too. It's so good.
The algorithm runs mostly on outrage content. And the only way to get the algorithm's attention is to get people engaged. And the easiest way to get them engaged is to make them feel something. And the easiest way to make them feel something, the feeling that is easiest to engage with, is anger, rage, and disgust. This is like fully like researched within the social media streets. They know this. People will look at something that disgusts them for X amount of time longer than something they think is heartwarming or attractive or whatever. Like they've actually studied that through, you know, randomized controlled trial research, that people just respond more to things that bother and upset them. They're quicker to hate watch something than watch something they like. So we're all forced, because the algorithm controls the game and the algorithm does not care why they watch as long as they watch. All of us are forced to constantly react to what the right wing is doing. And the only thing you can really do if you're trying to stay viable is within that right wing reaction, pull out something original, something new, something that grows, etc. So I actually have a lot of empathy, even for the the incest debaters. I have some, not when they do that debate, but I have empathy for the fact that if they're trying to do this full time, it's not in their best interest, especially if they're not the most creative or talented. It's not in their best interest to come up with original shit and to like say, I'm going to apply this important theoretical construct to this thing that'll draw on an audience and grow people. It's more like they just need to say, look at this crazy thing Matt Walsh said today. You know what I'm saying? Isn't this ridiculous? You know, and like I watched them shit, so I'm not going to throw too much shade at them. You know.
It's so everybody was right. We need to make this a thing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to like latch on to you as a person, but like everybody is understanding this to a degree that I was not prepared for. Let's go even deeper. Yo, me personally, I swear to you, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I want to, that's the paradigm shift. I want to change the algorithm. I want to present something that's so unique that it forces you to say, okay, this starts conversations. He want to start it. because I feel like the biggest problem for Black people on the internet is that when you look at people like Kai Cenat, you look at iShowSpeed, you start to get this presence that like this space, and you brought it up earlier, legacy, this space will have its life cycle. And what will be left after that life cycle? And I do honestly, from what I've seen, because I was on the train a couple days ago, and I was looking over. I even took a video of it, and I saw some dude like sitting down with his phone, and I could have sworn I saw on the phone a lot of red cups at a table. And then I saw, the podcast cuts. So I look over, fresh and fit. Uh-oh, we have a problem. They're getting people to listen to these conversations and probably adapt the smallest of, haha, did you hear this about what they said about women? And then they say that around maybe 4 or 5 of their homegirls. One of them gets angry, smashes his head over with a bottle, chain of events. That started on
figuratively smashes his head over.
Right, yeah. In case you... I feel like, I've said this before, like, I feel like I'm going to describe a situation and somebody on stream is going to be like, how did you know? I was like, oh, oops. But we have these, as you said, the engine forces us to play within their realm in order to participate. And I think that for a lot of people that I've talked to, experience with, that is very alienating, because when they go to look for content, that's all they see is that main discussion and tons of people reacting to it. I guess that's important enough to pay attention to. While you've got somebody like Jesse Gender trying to make a comment about something that might be quote unquote out of their range, and it gets twisted and maligned and eaten. When like the rest of us are sitting here like, no, I that makes sense. Like,
makes perfect sense.
Like I can read between the lines. I know when people are saying things to be harmful specifically, and when people might say things well intentioned. There was a tweet from there was a statement from Erica Marsh about how Black people won't succeed in a merit-based system if affirmative action gets removed. And I'm like, I could read between the lines on that. I know what you're trying to say, but you're saying it from a white perspective. Do you not, and this goes back to what we were saying earlier, do you not have people like us in your corner that would be like, great statement, just change this word here, change that word there. So for us, we look out that, I feel like we look over that and we gain this sense of both superiority and loneliness. Because damn, if I put out a statement about this, or if I respond to it, are they going to misinterpret what I'm saying? Do I sound like I'm the savior of the white people? Oh, yes! Like, and the default is yes. So now it's like, I can't say nothing. All right, so I guess I'm not going to make content about that. Oh, shit, but somebody's making content and they brought up my name. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, but the key is to make, and that's one of the reasons why I'm off Twitter, is because, like, I will probably eventually make a video around, I've always planned to make a video around interracial relationships, and like the over representation of them in the media, or I should say the false and commodified representation of them in the media.
I'm a filmmaker, so I'm very well media read. So yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And so and in that video, the take will be unassailable to all except the worst people and the people that refuse to get it. In a tweet, you can take it all kinds of ways. And it's the funnest thing to me. It's so funny. Like before, I was at a crossroads. I had this long 25 tweet thread where I was going to break down the issue. I was going to talk about, like, I was going to get into the whole nonsense with Shark because I was annoyed that, like, I never, like, the funniest thing is there are no tweets about Shark from me. None. There's no content. And even in that Flying the Milk video, when we were filming it, you probably recall, whenever somebody brought up Shark, I was like, I don't want to talk about Shark.
Yes, I do.
Because Shark has my Discord. And if Shark wants to talk to me about it, he can reach out to me. that was my whole thing the whole time. In Shark's video, he insinuates that I had something to say about him at the very end. And I was like, ooh, is that how we gonna do it? You know, like you gonna, you know, all right. And so I was in there. You know what I'm saying? I had a whole like tweet longer, whatever it is, not tweet longer, but I had a whole thread where I was gonna break down the whole situation. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, or I could just get off Twitter. Cause there's no win in this situation based on the actual medium of Twitter for getting across a point. Because the medium, like everybody's worse on Twitter. Everybody's worse on Twitter, except for the worst people. They're amplified by Twitter. But if I make a video about it, if I can script it out, if I can engage with the ideas, and if I have a captive audience that has the capacity to rewind, or I can just point to the timestamp, that is a whole different way of addressing that issue. So you can, if you want, develop a take on, you know, Eye Patch Wolf had a bit of a moment a couple of weeks ago with his a video game video he did where he fucked up talking about indigenous people. And it was an honest fuck up. It was, you know, because it was really based on, you know, the difference in how like he's experienced that term in Ireland versus like how we understand that term here in the States. Right. And and like he, you know, handled it perfectly effectively real quick. But when I talked to him about it, I was like, look, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna say nothing publicly. Right. But I can tell you how to handle this privately.
Yo, you know right there. No. Keep going. But like, I could talk to you. That's my goal, is like, I want to be so honest and so real and so visceral that like, if I do get popular, if I hit the algorithm and people start to know who I am, I know you probably listen to Black, or in my last brain cell, 6 Lack. That song Alone, EA6.
He's been 6 Lack the whole time to me.
Right, exactly. You feel me? Like, hey, I look up his name, 6 Lack. Like, I like, you become a fucking song instead of a person. You know, I want people to know this is me. This is what I stand for. This is what I believe in. I'm not putting this song out because, you know, I know y'all got your vision and y'all got your formula, but that shit not going to work for me. I have a chance to have a full-time job in 2 weeks, and I'm debating taking it because I'm in the room with you right now. I'm going to be talking to Sam on Friday, and like, I can't throw that away. But then it plays back into my head about growing up, you know, poor, and if you got a chance at it, you should take it. You know, this will always be here, but the people, the impact, the things might not always be there. So it's just, when you brought that up, it was like, yeah, like, I completely, trust me, I know.
It's the unreality of being in this public space, in the public eye, because you know, and it's so funny going back to the redheaded libertarian. In my last video, I was really nice to him. I was super nice to him. I was like, yo, y'all should stop calling him a pedophile. That shit doesn't really hold water. I feel bad for like what it must feel like to have people constantly on your head like that. You know, so I don't know how any of y'all do that. I said the same thing to Hassan when we talked. I was like, I don't know how y'all do this. I don't know how y'all live in this constant state of negativity, and constantly being on. But like the medium and the space wants the hot take, or better yet, it will amplify the spiciest part of the conversation. So, you know, I think me and Hassan had a real good convo, but I was like thinking to myself, man, I feel like the most clipped part is going to be when I said, you don't realize people don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, I wonder if that's gonna be the most clipped part. Thankfully it wasn't. But I know that if it's time to make the FD drama video or the Hassan drama video, that will be the part that's clipped. You know what I'm saying? And so when you do want to show empathy to people outside of the space, it becomes this tightrope. Or when you just want to have a normal take, you can't have a normal take or a mild take it has to be spicy or no take at all, because that's what it'll turn into anyway. You know, you become, I always go back to the little beef I had with I can't remember her name now, a Kadology, right? And this is why I really first learned the lesson.
That person, Jesus.
Yeah,
I haven't made
and it's so funny.
Yeah.
Everything I said, every critique I had of her initially has borne out to be true. You know what I'm saying? She's still defending J.K. Rowling. So, you know, it is what it is. But I never intended for that to be like a thing. I had 300,000 subscribers at the time, and I didn't consider how my voice carried when I decided to make that to do that video talking about her video, right? And so even though I don't take, you know, responsibility for the downfall of her channel since then, because that's not how YouTube works, and I don't want to keep going on that. I still feel bad because I still know that it sucks to go through a public dragging for any reason, and in some ways I was a catalyst for that, you know. And I said over and over again, I didn't want that to happen. But the truth of the matter is, once you get big, like you just said, what people think you're a song. My actual, and I said this in the drama video, my real name is not FD Signifier. When I make a video on the FD Signifier channel, that is a FD Signifier video. When I'm live, you are getting 50% docs, and 50% FD Signifier. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is, everybody thinks I'm 100%. People think you're 100% docs, whoever you really are. And it's like, no, I'm not. And like, I can't be. And that would be really unhealthy. And I have to have room to have opinions and feelings and takes that are not for content, that are not for commodification, and are just the way I think about something versus a statement meant to be consumed. And I have what's up, Sekou? It's lunchtime, so we gotta wrap things up.
Heard you.
Head back upstairs. I'm gonna wrap up in a second, okay?
It's all good. If I open my door, my cats would run in here. Normally this house is full, so that's why I was like, we got to do this during the break when nobody's home. It's all good, baby.
Go ahead, get your water.
I need to eat too.
Right.
So I'm gonna give like our last hurrah, but first I want to thank you for your time. I know that your time is expensive and it is worth something. It's the same thing I would say, you know, to any big creator or any, like, you know, your name in the space, and you chose to pick your time with me. That's real shit. I would love to do this again with you sometime. I don't know if you feel the same way. We can make it a thing. If you need any content, you see I clearly could help you out with that. If you need any takes or anything, I'm more saying if you want to develop a relationship, we're cool with that. I'm here for that. Is there anything you wanna like wrap up, fold, anything like that?
No, I'm down to come through again. I'm actually getting ready to, not getting ready. I'm in the process of getting ready to create more of a streaming dynamic to my presence on these streets. So I'm gonna need, like, between you, shout out to
Sean Black.
I can't remember. Sean the Black, thank you.
No, yeah. Yo, I swear to God, okay, we started drama. No, fuck the ending and everything. This is the drama segment. Yo, you fucked up on me, bro. You were on Hassan's stream.
And I didn't mention you. But you saw that I blinked, right?
Yes, and that was the point where everybody was screaming, please just say his name. And I was screaming in the chat because you were alone for a second. And I was like, bro, I'm right here, please.
I'm sorry. I blinked on so many people. You like, I was hoping people could see. Like, I was like, yeah, shout out to.
I'm supposed to
because
be
you know
like,
the chat moving so fast. Like, listen, I'm developing this skill set. My bad. My bad.
It's all good. That's
but shout out to you. Shout out to Sound of Black. There's a couple other people. I'm blanking on them now.
Exactly.
You know, where I do want to, like, I do think the streaming game for Black folks is not, like, I've been trying to get BP to stream because I think BP will be good at streaming. Because like it's when we talk about the paradigm shift and changing the algorithm, I know I've already done that. You know what I'm saying? Not to big up myself. Yeah, you're right. No, but I've clearly dented the algorithm with the way I've handled both my come up, but also the people. Like Foreign Man just hit 100K earlier this week. St. Andrewism hit 100K about a month ago. Like I'm saying Andrewism. Like Andrewism makes hardcore anarchist videos with no pizzazz. It's just his smooth, silky, Bahamian, not Bahamian, what is it, Trinidadian accent and still images. And he hit 100K. You know what I'm saying? Turd, Lil Bill are both gonna hit 100K probably this time next year, if not earlier.
Probably
and John Lewis just hit 10K. Mm-hmm. Like a Color Mine hit 10K last month. Like it's happening. We're denting the algorithm. And this is notwithstanding the fact that Khadijah and Bo, T Noir, Princess Weeks, like all the Black films have been there for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're denting the algorithm, but that's only on YouTube. And really for the real success and the real progress. And like, if I really like, so I don't fashion myself a revolutionary. I'm an entertainer, but I am seeking to change the game as much as possible to paradigm shift. To steal your joint. So that means we do have to like get on Twitch and create now that it's not just, you know, shout out to, you know, the little young boys, Akai and what's the other boy name that be doing a little too much? Show Speed. You know, like I love that they're doing their thing, but it would be great if there was a Black Hassan, or at least 1/3 of a Black Hassan. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest political streamer, that's Black political streamer, is Shark, and that's not quite adequate. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for Shark's success.
Right, but like that's what I mean is like, yo, if I was sitting there with 25,000 subscribers and Nick Merckx said what he said, people would come to me like, okay, I know you're not gonna shit on him. You're gonna like, okay, reach out and say, hey, dude, like, no, you got what you got.
I still haven't even looked into that.
It's basic normie stuff.
Basically like centrist takes. There's good people on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. And I've heard it in the grapevine. He's a gamer. But like that's why I keep saying, and I keep bringing up in this conversation, you don't have anybody in your spaces that like would tell you, hey, I understand where you're coming from. Here's how that's going to be received. Maybe I can give you a little bit of information on what's going on. Take me 5 minutes of your time and then move on with your day. While you playing Fortnite, I can just talk in your ear.
Yeah, don't say it like that.
Right.
Don't say this right now.
Right.
But the other problem is a lot of folks don't listen. Like I've had points where, people have emailed me like, hey, should I do this? And I'm like, no, don't do that. Do it later, maybe. And like 2 days later they did. I'm like, you clearly don't fucking listen.
Right. So. I was gonna say, just like we were just watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged for the last 2 days. As Cell said at the end, I'm no helicopter dad. Sink or swim, bitches.
I got let me run out of here. Shout out to all the Black political streamers trying to get it in. New video on anime next Monday. So shout out to Cell Saga Jokes. And
I need one more thing from you.
Yeah.
Just one more minute. This is all for jokes. It is not to. I'm doing a thing. I want to see if maybe. Are you aware of who Roman Reigns is?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so my big thing, my emote, my whole thing is this is season 4 of the Rumbling. Could I get a quick I acknowledge you. Could I just get a quick one of those?
I acknowledge you. Well, he says acknowledge me.
Right.
So,
I don't.
That's what they say back to him.
Yeah.
I acknowledge you.
Ooh, got one. Thank you. That's all I needed. I appreciate you so much. We will talk in the future. Thank you again. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again so much.
Oh, real quick.
Go ahead.
How deep do you run with wrestling?
Deep. Like,
okay,
I cut promos for a living. I write promos for wrestling.
You know what? I can see that.
yeah, exactly.
I can see that. That makes a lot of sense.
Like that matters to me a lot. Thank you.
Okay, that actually makes so much sense now. Because I'm working on Eye Patch Wolf. Again, shout out to Eye Patch Wolf. We know Eye Patch Wolf like 1.5 million. He did a dope Roman Reigns video you need to watch if you haven't already.
Got you. I'll do that next.
You should react to it on stream. Especially if you're a Reigns fan.
Yeah.
You would it gave me goosebumps. Ooh. But it also made me say, I've been talking about doing a wrestling video forever. So I got a black wrestler video, and when I watched his video, I realized I could do it all around Kofi Kingston's run. So I was like, I already got a Storyteller. I don't know if you know Storyteller. He's a
I do.
quasi-anarchist from the UK. And I was like, I don't know no other wrestler niggas online though. So I got you.
Got me.
And so I got at least 2. That's all I really need. Let me see if I can find one more. But all right, so keep your ear out for that. That's probably gonna be a fall joint. I don't know.
Sounds good.
We'll
That's
see.
perfect time.
When is SummerSlam?
SummerSlam should be actually, I think, next month. 5 weeks, August 6th or the first or second week in August. They really sped up to it. Like, it feels
so when is Survivor Series? It's probably Survivor Series. Survivor Series is like October.
Survivor Series will be, I could tell you right now. Let's have the calendar. It should be October, yeah. October. It's in Philly. It'll be the third Sunday of November.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
All right, man.
You got to plan out. That's part of the game. It is a game. You got to plan out joints. Like, all right, when can I do a wrestling video? When there's some dope wrestling shit.
And the last thing I'll tell you is that's what I do on my stream. It's like I plan these things out, these seasons, these episodes, years in advance. I have content going all the way to 2028. That's if I survive. Yeah, no, I really, and it's just to do what we said. Like, I control what's said on my platform. I weave it in with what happens naturally, but I know I'm going to arrive at. I only feel this way because of what happened when I was 10, and then it happened when I was 15, and then 20, and then 25, and it validates how I'm reacting to what I'm reacting to in real time. Anyway, go feed,
all right, man.
Go eat.
Peace and blessings.
Same to you, my man. Peace. Great show. I can't believe I got him to say I acknowledge you. And you know I clipped that shit immediately. Oh, I had no choice. Oh, I love that he knew what I was talking about too. That's what made that so much better. That's what made that part so much better. He knew what I was talking about. Thank fucking Jesus. Thank fucking Jesus he knew that. What's going on? Whoo! All right, we were told that we have